The gun was pointed at my ex-husband's head, and the man holding it just asked me if I wanted him to pull the trigger. I should have been terrified, so why did I feel safe for the first time in years? My name is Lily Chen, and 24 hours ago, I thought I had the perfect life. I was standing in our kitchen, well, what used to be our kitchen, holding a ceramic vase I'd spent 3 weeks perfecting in my pottery studio. It was an anniversary gift for Marcus, my husband of 5 years. Soft blue glaze with gold accents shaped like intertwined hands. I'd poured my heart into every curve. Lily, we need to talk. Those 4 words. The ones that shatter worlds. Marcus walked in with her. Vanessa. My former best friend. The woman who'd been my maid of honor. The woman who'd held me when my mother died. She was wearing my robe. I'm done pretending, Marcus said, not even having the decency to look guilty. Vanessa and I have been together for 2 years. I want a divorce. The vase slipped from my hands. 3 weeks of work shattered on the marble floor we'd picked out together. 2 years. My voice came out as a whisper. Our entire marriage, you've been. Oh, come on, Lily, Vanessa sighed, examining her nails. Don't act so surprised. You are always more interested in your clay than your husband. What did you expect? Marcus handed me papers. Divorce papers. Already signed by him. I'm keeping the house, he said. And the car. My lawyer says since you barely contributed financially with your little pottery hobby, you're not entitled to much. You have until tomorrow morning to pack your things. My pottery hobby. The art that had won me 3 international awards. The custom pieces that celebrities commissioned. He'd always call it a hobby, belittling every achievement. Marcus, please. Sign the papers, Lily. I'm marrying Vanessa next month. We've already sent the invitations to your friends, by the way. They are all coming. They are happy for us. That's when I realized this wasn't spontaneous. This was calculated. Orchestrated. They'd turned everyone against me while I'd been blind, trusting, working in my studio, creating beauty while they destroyed my life. I grabbed my purse, left the papers on the counter, and walked out. I didn't have anywhere to go. Most of my friends were really his friends. My family lived overseas. I had my car, for now, and about $3,000 in my personal account. I drove to the only place that had ever made sense, my pottery studio downtown. It was in a rough neighborhood, but the rent was cheap, and the space was huge. I'd transformed it into my sanctuary, wheels, keels, shelves of glazes, and hundreds of pieces in various stages of completion. I unlocked the door, stepped inside, and finally let myself cry. That's when I heard the footsteps behind me. You shouldn't be here this late. It's not safe. I spun around, my hand gripping a pottery tool like a weapon. The man in my doorway was devastating. Tall, dark-haired, sharp jawline, wearing an expensive suit that probably cost more than my car. But it was his eyes that caught me, dark, intense, and looking at me with unexpected concern. I own this studio, I said, trying to sound brave despite my tear-stained face. Who are you? Julian Hart. He stepped inside, and 2 large men flanked him outside. I own the building. I was inspecting properties when I saw your light on. This area isn't safe for a woman alone at night. Julian Hart. The name was familiar, infamous, actually. Real estate mogul. Rumored mob connections. The kind of man the news whispered about but never quite had evidence against. I'm fine, I lied. His eyes traveled to my face, reading me like one of my clay pieces. You've been crying. Bad day. Someone hurt you. It wasn't a question. I laughed bitterly. My husband and my best friend. But it's not your problem, Mr. Hart. Thank you for the concern, but... Show me your work. What? He walked further into my studio, hands in his pockets, examining my pieces with genuine interest. You're a potter. Show me what you create. I don't know why I did it. Maybe because he was the first person in years who'd asked. Maybe because I needed to remember who I was beyond Marcus's wife. I showed him my latest collection, a series of vessels inspired by ancient Greek pottery but with modern, abstract twists. Each piece told a story of transformation. Julian picked up an amphora vase, handling it with surprising gentleness for a man rumored to break bones for a living. "This is exceptional," he said quietly. "The way you've captured fluidity in something so solid, it's like frozen music." My breath caught. That's exactly what I'd been trying to achieve. "You understand it." "I understand value when I see it." His dark eyes met mine. "What happened tonight?" Maybe it was the exhaustion. Maybe it was the way he really looked at me, like I was a person, not an accessory. But I told him everything. Marcus. Vanessa. The divorce papers. Losing everything. When I finished, Julian's expression had gone cold. "Your husband's name?" "Marcus Reeves." "Why?" "And he's taking your assets. Including compensation for your artistic work during the marriage. He says my pottery is just a hobby. That I didn't contribute financially." Julian pulled out his phone, made a call. "Michael. I need information on Marcus Reeves and Vanessa." He looked at me. "Blackwood," I whispered. "Vanessa Blackwood. Everything. I want it in an hour." He hung up. "Where are you staying tonight?" "My car, and I guess. Or maybe a motel." "No." He said it with such finality that I blinked. "I have a property, a penthouse apartment. Empty, secure. You'll stay there." "Mr. Hart, I can't accept." "Julian. And yes, you can. Consider it a courtesy to a talented artist who's renting space in my building." His eyes softened slightly. "You shouldn't be alone tonight, Miss Chen. And you certainly shouldn't be unsafe." Something in his voice made me trust him. Or maybe I was just too exhausted to argue. "Lily," I said. "My name is Lily." "Lily." He said my name like it was something precious. "Come with me. We'll collect what you need from your studio. Tomorrow, we'll handle your husband." The penthouse was stunning, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, a modern furniture, and an entire room that Julian casually mentioned I could use as a temporary studio. "I don't understand why you're helping me," I said, standing in the vast living room. Julian poured 2 glasses of wine, handed me one. "My mother was an artist. Painter. My father didn't value her work either. Called it a waste of time. She died believing she was worthless." His pain was evident, carefully controlled but present. "When I took over my father's business, I made it my mission to support artists. Real artists who create because they must, not because it's trendy. You're one of those, Lily. I saw it in your work. And you just help them. Out of kindness." He smiled, and it was dangerous. "I'm not a good man, Lily. I won't pretend to be. But I protect what I value. And I destroy what threatens it." That should have scared me. Instead, I felt a thrill run through me. The next morning, Julian's investigator, Michael, arrived with a folder. "Marcus Reeves," Michael said, laying out documents. "Embezzled $200,000 from his company. He's been hiding it, planning to use it to start a business with Vanessa Blackwood. Blackwood, meanwhile, has been using your social media passwords, which you shared as friends, to send messages to your clients, undercutting your prices and stealing your commissions." I felt sick. The betrayal went so much deeper than I'd known. "There's more," Michael continued. "Reeves has been telling people you're mentally unstable. Building a narrative that you're an unfit partner. It's why your friends have distanced themselves. He's been poisoning them against you for months." Julian's jaw clenched. "Where is he now?" "At the house. Vanessa is with him. They are celebrating." Julian stood, buttoning his suit jacket. "Lily, you don't have to come. But if you want to face them, I'll be right beside you." I thought of every belittling comment. Every dismissed achievement. Every moment Marcus made me feel small. I'm coming. We arrived at the house, my house, that I'd decorated, that I'd filled with warmth, to find Marcus and Vanessa in the living room with champagne. Marcus's face went white when Julian walked in with his security. Who the hell? Julian Hart, Julian said smoothly, sitting in Marcus's favorite chair like he owned it. Which, I'd learn later, he now did. He'd bought Marcus's mortgage that morning. We need to discuss your wife. Ex-wife. And this is my house. Get out before I call the police. Julian smiled. It was terrifying. Please do. I'm sure they'd love to hear about the embezzlement. Or perhaps your company would like to know first. Marcus went from white to grey. I don't know what your $217,000 to be exact. Julian pulled out documents. Siphoned over 18 months. Federal crime, Marcus. 5 to 10 years. Vanessa stood up. This is insane. Lily, what did you do? Did you hire this thug? Watch your mouth. Julian's voice dropped to a little calm. You've stolen Miss Chen's client list, posed as her to undercut her prices, and committed fraud. That's 3 to 5 years. Would you like me to continue? I watched them squirm, these two people who destroyed my life with such casual cruelty. And I felt nothing. No satisfaction in their fear. I just wanted it over. What do you want? Marcus asked Julian, ignoring me entirely. As if I didn't exist. As if he could negotiate with the man and erase me from the equation again. Julian looked at me. Lily? What do you want? Everyone turned to me. For the first time in 5 years, I had the power. I want the household profit split fairly based on actual contributions, I said, my voice steady. I want all marital assets evaluated properly, including the value of my artistic work. I want a formal, written apology from both of you, sent to every person you turned against me. And I want you both to understand that you didn't break me. You freed me. Julian nodded to Michael, who produced more papers. Sign this. They are fair terms, reviewed by an independent lawyer. If you don't, we file criminal charges tomorrow. Choose. They signed. Both of them, hands shaking. As we left, Marcus called out, Lily, wait. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. We can work this out. I turned back. You're not sorry. You're caught. There's a difference. Julian's hand touched the small of my back, gentle and reassuring, as we walked out. In the car, I started laughing. Then crying. Then laughing again. That was incredible, I gasped. How did you? I make it my business to know everything, Julian said softly. Especially when someone I care about has been wronged. Someone you care about? You just met me. His dark eyes found mine. I've known you for years, Lily. I own your building, remember? I've watched you arrive before dawn, leave after midnight. Seen you dancing while you work, completely lost in creation. I've bought 3 of your pieces through anonymous auctions because I couldn't stop thinking about them. About you. My heart stopped. You, what? I'm not good at subtle, Lily. I want you to understand something, that I'm a dangerous man. I've done things that would horrify you. I live in a world of violence and power games. But when I saw you crying in your studio last night, I made a decision. You're under my protection now. No one will hurt you again. I'm not a damsel in distress, I whispered. No. You're a warrior who's been fighting with one hand tied behind your back. I'm just untying it. He reached over, wiped a tear from my cheek. And when you're ready, if you're ever ready, I'd like to be more than your protector. But there's no pressure. You've been through hell. Take your time. The next 3 months changed everything. Julian kept his word, I had my freedom, my space, my studio. But he was present. Not hovering, not controlling. Just there. He'd show up with coffee while I worked, sitting quietly, reading contracts while I threw clay. He understood that my art wasn't a performance, it was my meditation, my therapy, my voice. He introduced me to gallery owners, not as his girlfriend or as someone who needed charity, but as an artist worth knowing. My first major gallery show sold out in 2 hours. Marcus and Vanessa. They spiraled. The embezzlement story leaked. Julian swore it wasn't him, but I had my suspicions. Marcus lost his job. Vanessa's social media influencer career collapsed when people learned she'd stolen content. They blamed each other, it broke up, and last I heard, Marcus was working at his father's car dealership, humiliated and alone. I should have felt vindicated. Mostly, I felt free. One evening, Julian arrived at the studio with a large box. "What's this?" I asked, wiping clay from my hands. "Open it." Inside was a potter's wheel, but not just any wheel. It was a rare vintage leech wheel, worth more than a car. I'd mentioned once, casually, that it was my dream wheel. "Julian, I can't accept. It's not a gift. It's an investment." He smiled. "I'm commissioning a series from you. 20 pieces. For my private collection. This is your tool to create them." I threw my arms around him, and for the first time, he held me. Really held me. And I felt something I'd thought Marcus had destroyed, the ability to trust. "Lily," he said softly, his breath warm against my hair. "I need to tell you something." "Okay. I'm falling in love with you. Actually, I've been in love with you for a while. But I need you to know what that means. Loving me isn't simple. There are dangers. Complications. I have enemies who would love to hurt me by hurting you. If you give me your heart, I'll protect it with everything I have. But I can't promise it'll be easy." I pulled back to look at him. This powerful, dangerous gentleman who'd seen me at my lowest and treated me like I was made of gold. "I'm not afraid of complicated," I said. "I've been safe and miserable. I'd rather be challenged and alive." He cupped my face in his hands. "Are you sure? Kiss me, Julian." He did. And it was like coming home to a place I'd never been, exciting and comfortable all at once. Of course, it couldn't stay peaceful forever. 2 months later, at my gallery opening, my biggest show yet, Marcus showed up. Drunk. Angry. "This should have been ours," he shouted, stumbling through the elegant crowd. "I supported you. I let you play with your clay. And you threw it away for him." Security moved forward, but Julian was faster. He stepped between Marcus and me, his presence a wall. "You need to leave," Julian said quietly. "Dangerously. Or what? You'll have me killed. Everyone knows what you are, Hart. A criminal. A thug. Lily, he's using you. You're just another possession to him. I was a possession to you." I stepped around Julian, facing Marcus myself. "You belittled my work, stole my confidence, gaslit me for years. Julian sees me. He values me. He's done more for my career in 6 months than you did in 5 years. I loved you. No, you loved controlling me. There's a difference. And now I'm successful, happy, and free. While you're drunk at my gallery, embarrassing yourself. We are done, Marcus. We've been done. Move on. Miss Chen is being kind," Julian added, his voice cold. "I'm not. You have 10 seconds to leave before my security removes you. And if you ever come near her again, you'll discover exactly what kind of man I am. Am I clear?" Marcus looked between us, finally understanding that he'd lost. Completely. He left. Later, as the gallery emptied and I stood among my sold-out collection, Julian wrapped his arms around me from behind. "You didn't need me to rescue you," he murmured. "No. But it's nice to have someone in my corner. Always, Lily. Always." 1 year later. I stood in our home, Julian's penthouse that had become ours, putting the finishing touches on a vase. Not for sale. This one was special. Julian walked in still in his work suit and kissed my temple. How was your day? Wonderful. I finalized the pieces for the Tokyo exhibition. And I finished this. I held up the vase. It was as dark and light clay intertwined, inseparable, stronger together than apart. It's perfect, he said softly. It's our story. The beauty that comes from broken pieces. He took my clay-covered hands in his. Lily Chen, you walked into my life broken when you rebuilt yourself into something extraordinary. I didn't save you. You saved yourself. But I'd like to spend the rest of my life standing beside you while you create, dream, and shine. Will you marry me? He produced a ring, simple, elegant, with a sapphire the color of my favorite glaze. I thought about the girl who'd stood in a kitchen, holding a broken vase, thinking her life was over. She'd been right. That life was over. This new life, filled with art, purpose, love, and a dangerous man who treated me like I was made of starlight, this was just beginning. Yes, I whispered. Yes, Julian. 1,000 times yes. He kissed me, then somewhere in the city, my clay spun on wheels, creating beauty from earth and water, pressure and heat. Just like us. Marcus sent a bitter message later that week, hope you're happy. I deleted it without responding. Because I was deliriously, completely, fierily happy. And that was the best revenge of all. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and comment what story you'd like to hear next. And where you are watching from, did Team Julian win your heart, or do you think Lily should have handled things differently? Let me know below. 2 hearts.